Jin stared at the letter in his hands. His heart beat fast in his chest. The paper was strange. Not quite paper, but something smoother. The symbols on it had changed to Korean words when he first touched it. This must be a joke, he said to himself in his small Seoul apartment. The letter said he had been chosen to attend the Interstellar Academy of Sciences. It said he was the first human to be publicly invited. It said Earth had just been found by something called the Galactic Coalition. Jin was smart. He had always been smart, but this was beyond anything he had ever dreamed of. His phone rang. It was his mother. "Jin, did you get a strange letter today?" Her voice shook. "You got one too?" Jin asked. "No. Men in suits came to our house. They said you got picked for something big. Something about space." So it was real. Jin sat down hard on his bed. 3 days later, Jin met with Earth's leaders. They told him this was humanity's big chance, their one shot to join the stars. They needed him to be strong. "They say humans are weak," said the president. "They think we are too soft, too slow, too fragile. Show them they are wrong." Jin nodded. Inside, he felt fear, but also pride. On the day of his departure, Jin's parents hugged him tight. "Come back to us," his mother whispered. "I will," Jin promised. "And I'll make Earth proud." A light flashed in the sky. A ship like nothing on Earth landed in the field. It was smooth and dark, with no clear front or back. It simply was. A ramp opened, and Jin saw his first alien. The being had feathers instead of hair. Its skin was blue-gray. It had 2 arms but stood on legs that bent backward. Its eyes were large and golden. "I am Kree," the alien said in perfect Korean. "I am your guide to the academy." Jin bowed slightly. "Thank you for this honor." Kree made a sound like small bells. Jin realized it was laughter. "Honor? No, human. This is a test. One your kind will likely fail." Jin straightened his back. "Then I look forward to surprising you." Kree's feathers ruffled. "Brave words. We shall see." Jin stepped onto the ramp. Behind him lay everything he knew, his family, his world, his species. Ahead was a vast unknown. The ramp closed. Earth disappeared from view. Jin was alone with the stars, carrying the hopes of humanity on his shoulders. His journey had begun. The ship moved faster than Jin thought possible. Stars blurred outside the window. His stomach felt strange, but he did not get sick. Kree explained that the ship had special fields that protected passengers. "We are here," Kree announced after 3 days of travel. Jin looked out the window and gasped. The academy was not on a planet. It was a massive space station. It looked like 5 metal rings connected to a central sphere. The whole thing was bigger than Seoul. "That's the academy?" Jin asked. "That is just the junior section," Kree said. "For new students like you." The ship docked at one of the rings. When the door opened, Jin felt heavier. "The gravity is stronger here," Kree explained. "Most species prefer it this way. You will adjust, if you can." Jin forced himself to stand straight despite the extra weight. He would not show weakness on his first day. The hallway was filled with aliens of all types. Some had many legs. Some floated in the air. Some were small like children. Others were 3 times Jin's height. Many stopped to stare at him. Jin heard whispers. "Is that a human? So soft-looking. No armor at all. I heard they break easily." Jin kept his eyes forward and followed Kree to a large room with many small doors. "Your living space," Kree said, pointing to one door. "You share with one other student." Jin's room was small but clean. It had 2 beds, though one was more like a pool of water. A creature sat on the edge of the waterbed. It had blue skin and 6 arms. Its eyes were on stalks that moved independently. "Hello," it said in a bubbly voice. "I am Taro. You must be the human." Jin bowed slightly. "I am Jin. Nice to meet you." Taro moved his arms in a pattern. That is how my people greet each other. You can just nod. Jin smiled. At least his roommate seemed friendly. Orientation begins in 1 hour, Cree said from the doorway. Do not be late. The orientation hall was enormous. Hundreds of new students sat on different types of seats. Jin found a chair that looked normal and sat down. A tall alien with gray skin and 4 eyes stood on the stage. Welcome to the Interstellar Academy of Sciences. I am Administrator Vex. Vex explained the Academy rules and systems. Students were divided into 5 tiers based on ability. The best students were in Tier 1. The weakest in Tier 5. Humans, Vex said, looking directly at Jin, are automatically placed in Tier 5 due to their underdeveloped biology and new status in the galactic community. Jin felt his face grow hot. Some students laughed. After orientation, Jin received his schedule on a thin tablet. His first class was Galactic Standard Physics. He hurried there, determined to prove himself. The classroom had 30 students. The teacher was a floating ball of green light. Jin understood the words, thanks to the translator in his ear, but the concepts were beyond anything he had learned on Earth. This is simple material we expect all students to know already, the teacher said. We will review quickly before moving to advanced topics. Jin tried to take notes, but he was lost. Equations filled the screens that looked nothing like Earth physics. During the break, a tall insect-like student knocked Jin's tablet from his hands. Wrong room. Human. The alien clicked. Basic life forms class is down the hall. Jin picked up his tablet without a word. Not going to fight back. The alien taunted. Oh right, you can't. Your species is too fragile. Jin met the alien's compound eyes. I'm here to learn, not fight. You'll be gone in a week, the alien predicted. No human can handle this place. As the alien walked away, Jin took a deep breath. This would be harder than he expected, but he would not give up. He couldn't. All of Earth was counting on him. He opened his tablet and began to study harder than he ever had before. Jin sat alone in the Academy's food hall. The food from the machine tasted strange, but was safe for humans. His tablet showed his test scores from his first week. They were not good. You're holding your fork wrong, said a voice in Korean. Jin looked up. A young woman with short black hair stood in front of him. She wore the same gray uniform as him, but with a blue stripe. Tier 4. You're human, Jin said in surprise. She sat down across from him. My name is Hana. I've been here for a year. Jin's eyes widened, but they said I was the first human student. The first public one, Hana said. I was brought here quietly, to see if humans could learn at all. Her voice was cold. Why didn't they tell me about you? Hana shrugged. They don't tell us much. She pointed at his tablet. You're struggling. It wasn't a question. Jin nodded anyway. The basic classes assume knowledge we never learned on Earth, he explained. I know, Hana said. I failed everything my first month. She took his tablet and typed something. Meet me at study room 12 tonight. I'll help you. Before Jin could thank her, she walked away. That night, Jin found study room 12 in the quiet part of the station. Hana was there with a man Jin had never seen before. This is Da, Hana said. He works in maintenance. Da had strong arms and a friendly smile. Another human. They're collecting us. Da isn't a student, Hana explained. They brought him to fix things 6 months ago. They think human hands are good for small repairs, Da said with a laugh. Little do they know I'm learning all their tech secrets. Jin felt a wave of relief. He wasn't alone after all. So now we are 3, Hana said. The Earth Trio. For the next few hours, Hana explained the basics Jin had missed. She had made simple guides in Korean that made the alien science clearer. Dai showed Jin shortcuts on his tablet that helped with the math. Why are you helping me? Jin asked finally. Hana's cold face softened a bit. Because every human here is carrying Earth on their shoulders. We need to stand together. Also, she's not as mean as she acts, Dai added with a grin. Hana glared at him, but didn't argue. The next day, Jin understood his classes better. He still struggled with the gravity, which made him tired faster than the other students, but his answers improved. After class, the insect student from before blocked Jin's path. I see you're still here, human, it clicked. Surprising. Jin tried to walk around, but the alien moved to block him. I heard there are more of you now, the alien said. A female and a worker, collecting weak species, are we? Jin felt anger rise in him. We are not weak. We are different. The alien's wings buzzed. Prove it then. The physics test tomorrow. If you score in the bottom 5, you admit humans don't belong here. Jin thought about how much he still didn't know, but he also thought about Hana and Da. And if I don't score in the bottom 5? Jin asked. Then, I will admit I was wrong about humans, the alien said. It clearly didn't think this would happen. Deal, Jin said. That night, Jin studied harder than ever. Hana and Da helped until late hours. They showed him that humans had something special. They could connect ideas in ways other species didn't. They thought outside the normal patterns. Humans adapt, Hana said. That's our strength. We find unexpected solutions, Dai added. By morning, Jin felt ready. Not to get a perfect score, but to prove humans belonged among the stars. When he walked into the test room, he stood tall despite the heavy gravity. He was no longer alone. He was part of the Earth trio. And together, they would show the galaxy what humans could do. Jin placed his test tablet on the teacher's desk. The glowing green teacher scanned it. Surprising, the teacher said. You scored 17th out of 30 students. Jin tried not to smile too big. He was not at the top, but he was far from the bottom 5. He looked at the insect alien, who clicked angrily with its mandibles. A lucky day for you, human, the alien said later in the hall. I am Crick, and I keep my word. You have proven that humans are not entirely hopeless. It wasn't a full apology, but Jin accepted it with a nod. That afternoon, all students gathered in the main hall. Administrator Vex stood on the stage. Today we announce the innovation project, Vex said. Teams of 3 to 5 students will create solutions to unsolved problems. The best teams will move up one tier. Jin felt a surge of hope. This was his chance to get out of Tier 5. Teams have been pre-selected based on complementary skills, Vex continued. The names appeared on the big screen. Jin was placed with 4 others, including Crick, the insect alien. Jin's heart sank. His other teammates were Sung, a crystal being who never seemed to speak, and Rai, a floating cloud of purple gas known for brilliant theory work, but harsh opinions. Their 5th member was Taro, Jin's friendly roommate. At least one ally. Their assigned problem appeared on Jin's tablet. Create a way to communicate through dense plasma fields that block normal signals. The team met in a lab room. No one spoke to Jin at first. I have studied all past attempts, Sung finally said, crystal body glinting. There are 47 failed methods. The solution must use quantum pairing. Rai's gas form pulsed with light as it spoke. Nothing else will work. Crick nodded. We need advanced quantum technology. Jin had been reading quietly. He raised his hand. What about sound? Everyone turned to him. Sound. Rai's form flickered with what seemed like laughter. In space, there is no air, human. Not in space, Jin explained. But the plasma field itself. What if we vibrate the actual plasma to carry the message? Primitive, Rai dismissed. Like drum signals. Sometimes old ideas work in new ways, Jin argued. Earth submarines used sound to communicate in water for years. Let him explain, Taro said, supporting Jin. For the next week, the team worked on both approaches. Rai, Sung, and Crick focused on quantum methods. Jin and Taro explored the sound idea. Jin contacted Hana and Dai for help. Da knew how the station's plasma systems worked from his maintenance job. Together, they built a simple device to test Jin's idea. 3 days before the deadline, disaster struck. Jin found their lab in chaos. The quantum device was broken. Sabotage, Crick clicked angrily. Another team did this. We've lost, Sung said flatly. 3 months of work, destroyed. Jin looked at his sound device, still intact. We still have my approach. Your primitive method. Rai pulsed with anger. It will fail. It's all we have now, Jin said firmly. Let me show you what it can do. For the next 3 days, Jin barely slept. Humans could go without sleep longer than many alien species, he discovered. While his teammates had to rest, Jin kept working. When Crick returned after an 8-hour rest cycle, he found Jin still at the workbench. You haven't slept? Crick asked in surprise. Humans can push through when needed, Jin said, eyes red but focused. On presentation day, Jin was exhausted but proud. Their device was simple but worked perfectly. It sent clear messages through plasma that blocked all other signals. Administrator Vex seemed shocked when their team demonstrated the success. A human approach, Vex said with surprise. Using the plasma itself as a medium. Simple, yet effective. When the results were announced, Jin's team had placed 3rd out of 20 teams. All members would move up 1 tier. Jin was now tier 4. That night, as he finally slept, messages spread through the academy about the human who had worked for 3 days without rest to save his team. Perhaps some whispered, humans had strengths no one had noticed before. All 4th-year students will now begin physical assessment, announced a voice over the academy speakers. Jin looked at Hana with worry. They were both in tier 4 now, but this would be different from academic tests. They test how well you survive in different environments, Hana explained as they walked to the large training hall. Most species are built for specific conditions. Humans aren't built for any of them. The training hall was huge. It had many rooms that could change to match different planets. Some were hot, some cold. Some had heavy gravity, some almost none. First test, high gravity, called out a tall, muscular alien with red skin. I am Jun, your combat and survival instructor. Jun looked at Jin and Hana. Humans, this will be interesting. The students entered a room where the gravity slowly increased. Jin felt heavier and heavier. It became hard to stand. Many alien students seemed fine, especially those with many legs or thick bodies. At double Earth gravity, Jin and Hana were struggling but still standing. At triple gravity, they were on their hands and knees. Enough for the humans, Jun said. You may exit. But Jin didn't move. Neither did Hana. They kept crawling forward toward the goal line. Every movement was painful. Jun watched with surprise. Most of the other students had already stopped or completed the course. But the humans kept going. Why continue? Jun asked. You cannot win. Not trying to win, Jin gasped. Just not quitting. It took them 3 times longer than anyone else, but both humans crossed the finish line. Jun made a sound that might have been respect. The next test was extreme cold. Jin and Hana shivered badly, but their bodies adapted better than expected. The heat test was worse. Humans were good at cooling down through sweat, but the test room was too hot for that to work. Vacuum test, Jun announced later. Each student will spend time in a chamber with almost no air. Your protective suits have emergency buttons if you cannot continue. Jin entered his vacuum chamber. The air thinned. His skin felt tight. Breathing became hard, then impossible. The emergency breather in his suit helped a little, but it was designed to give just enough oxygen to push the emergency button, not to keep him comfortable. Through the clear walls, Jin saw other students quickly hitting their buttons. Hana lasted longer than most, but finally gave in. Jin's vision grew dark at the edges. His lungs burned, but he kept thinking, I will not be the first to fail. Suddenly, a crack appeared in Jin's chamber wall. Air rushed out completely. His emergency breather stopped working. Red lights flashed. Jin hit his emergency button, but nothing happened. The system had failed. Jin felt his consciousness fading. With his last strength, he pounded on the chamber wall. Then darkness took him. He woke up in the medical bay. Hana, Dai, and Jun stood nearby. "You should be dead," Jun said bluntly. "When your chamber failed, you had no air for over 2 minutes. Most species suffer brain death in seconds. Humans can survive without oxygen longer than we thought," Hana explained. "Our brains shut down but can restart. Our bodies are made to take damage and recover," Dai added. Jun studied Jin with interest. "Your species is physically weaker than most. But you endure, you adapt, you survive when you should not." That evening, Jun approached Jin in the food hall. "I offer special training," Jun said, "for you and the female human." "Why?" Jin asked. "Because you showed something rare today. Not strength, not skill, something better." Jun's red face was serious. The will to continue when most would stop. As Jun walked away, Crick sat down across from Jin. "I saw what happened today," Crick said, mandibles moving softly. "Perhaps humans are built differently than we thought." Jin smiled. "We're not built for any specific environment. We're built to adapt to all of them." For the first time, Crick didn't argue. And Jin realized things were slowly changing. Humans were starting to find their place among the stars. Jin and Hana trained with Jun every day before classes. They learned how to fight, how to move in different gravity, and how to use their human bodies in new ways. "You are getting stronger," Jun told them one day. "Both of you might reach Tier 3 soon." Jin smiled at the praise. Being in Tier 3 would be a big achievement for humans. After training, Jin met with Dai in a quiet corner of the maintenance area. Dai had access to parts of the station most students never saw. "I found something strange," Dai said, his voice low. "Look at this." He showed Jin a file on his tablet. It was a report about Earth. "Where did you get this?" Jin asked. "From a locked system. I was fixing cables behind a wall and found an old data port." Dai pointed at the file date. "This report is from 200 years ago." Jin felt cold. But the coalition said they only discovered Earth 5 years ago. "They lied," Hana said, joining them. "They've been watching us for centuries." The 3 humans looked at more files Dai had found. They showed Earth had been observed for a long time. Humans were classified as potentially dangerous if allowed to develop unchecked. "Why would they think we're dangerous?" Jin asked. "We're weaker than most species here." "But we adapt faster," Hana said. "Look at this." Another file showed studies of how different species learned and changed. Humans were at the top for rate of adaptation. "They're afraid of us," Dai realized. "Not of what we are now, but of what we might become." Over the next few weeks, the 3 humans found more evidence. A group of powerful species had agreed to keep Earth isolated. Administrator Vex was part of this group. "That's why he put you in Tier 5 automatically," Hana told Jin. "That's why they kept me secret. They want humans to fail." "But why let us in at all?" Jin asked. "Politics," Dai guessed. "Some coalition members must have pushed for Earth to be included. This was their compromise." Strange things began to happen. Jin's room was searched while he was in class. Hana's test scores were changed to be lower. Dai was accused of stealing parts. "They know we're onto them," Hana said. One day, Jin found Taro waiting for him after class. "Be careful, my friend," Taro said, all 6 arms moving nervously. "I heard some senior students talking. They said the human problem needs to be solved." "What does that mean?" Jin asked. "I think someone plans to hurt you," Taro said, "to make it look like an accident." Jin thanked Taro and immediately told Hana and Dai. "We need proof of the conspiracy," Hana said. "Something we can show to the whole coalition." "I know where to look," Dai said. But it's in Administrator Vex's private office. I can get in because I fixed the systems there, but I'll need help. They made a plan. Dad would enter Vex's office to fix the air system. Jin and Hannah would create a distraction in the main hall. While everyone was busy, Dai would copy the secret files. The next day, their plan began. Jin and Hannah staged a debate in the main hall about human abilities. It grew heated, drawing a crowd. Even Crick joined in, surprisingly defending humans. They have proven their worth in some areas, Crick argued against another student. Meanwhile, Dai slipped into Vex's office. He worked quickly, fixing the air system while his device copied files. He was almost done when the door opened. Administrator Vex stood there, his 4 eyes narrowed. "I thought I might find a human where one doesn't belong," Vex said coldly. Dai stood up slowly. "Just fixing your air system, sir, and stealing my files." Vex held up a device like Daz. "Did you think we wouldn't notice? Your kind are more clever than expected, but not clever enough." Guards appeared behind Vex. Dai was trapped. In the main hall, Jin suddenly felt that something had gone very wrong. Their plan had failed. And now, they were in more danger than ever before. Jin and Hannah waited nervously in their meeting spot. Dai was late. "Something's wrong," Hannah said. "He should have been here an hour ago." Just then, Jin's tablet beeped. A message from Dai. "I'm fine. Meet tomorrow. Normal place." The next day, Dai arrived with a bruised face but a big smile. "They caught me," he admitted, "but they didn't find this." He held up a tiny chip. "I hid the real copying device in my sleeve. What they found was empty." "Did they hurt you?" Jin asked, looking at Dai's bruises. "Just questions and a warning. They think I was just being nosy." Dai tapped the chip. "But I got everything. Proof that they've been watching Earth for centuries. Proof that Vex has been working to keep humans down." "We can't use this yet," Hannah said. "If we show these files now, they'll just kick us all out. We need leverage." Jin thought for a moment. "The tournament," he said. "It's in 2 weeks. If we do well there, more people will be watching." The Tournament of Disciplines was the biggest event of the academy year. Students competed in knowledge, innovation, and physical challenges. Winners gained fame across the galaxy. "No human has ever competed," Hannah said. "They always find a way to keep us out." "Not this time," Jin said. "I'm in Tier 4 now. You're in Tier 4. And Dai grinned. "My work on the plasma communicator earned me student status. I'm in Tier 5, but I'm eligible." For the next 2 weeks, they trained harder than ever. Jun helped Jin and Hannah with combat skills. They studied day and night for the knowledge tests. When the tournament began, thousands watched, including representatives from many worlds. Administrator Vex gave the opening speech. "This tournament celebrates the best of our academy," Vex said. "May the most worthy species prevail." The knowledge tests came first. Jin chose adaptive technology as his specialty. Hannah picked xenobiology. Daz selected engineering. Jin scored well, placing 10th in his category. Hannah did even better, reaching 5th place. Dai surprised everyone by winning his category outright. A human won engineering. Students whispered in shock. Next came the Innovation Challenge. Teams had 10 hours to solve a new problem. Jin, Hannah, and Dai worked together, combining their skills. Their solution was simple but effective. They placed second, earning more attention. The final day brought the physical challenges. Jin would represent humans in the endurance trial, a test of survival in changing environments. Just before it began, Crick approached Jin. "Be careful," Crick warned. "I heard some officials changed the settings. It will be more dangerous than usual." Jin nodded. "Thanks for telling me." The endurance trial began. 20 students entered a large chamber that changed conditions rapidly. First came extreme heat, then freezing cold, then low oxygen. Jin struggled but kept going. His body adapted as Jun had taught him. Several other students dropped out. Then came the toxic gas phase. Jin's mask should have protected him, but it began to fail. He realized someone had damaged it. As Jin gasped for air, he saw 3 other students also struggling. Their masks were failing too. One was Crick. Without hesitation, Jin removed his mask and fixed the broken part. He gave Crick his working filter and used the repaired one himself. It wasn't perfect, but it might keep them both alive. Together, they helped the other 2 students. All 4 made it to the safe zone, coughing and weak. Outside the chamber, a crowd had gathered around the monitors. They had seen everything. The human sacrificed his safety for others, someone said loudly. Even for those not of his kind, added another voice. Jun pushed through the crowd and helped Jin to his feet. You could have won if you had left them, Jun said. Jin shook his head. Winning means nothing if others die. As medics checked the affected students, Jin noticed something important. Many academy officials looked uncomfortable. Some looked angry, but most looked thoughtful, as if seeing humans in a new light. The tournament ended with a big ceremony. Jin didn't win any top prizes, but everyone knew his name now, the human who risked himself to save others. Hana nudged Jin as they sat in the ceremony hall. It's time, she whispered. After this, we show the files. Jin nodded. Day sat on his other side, the precious data chip hidden in his pocket. As Administrator Vex gave the closing speech, the 3 humans got ready for their plan. They would connect the chip to the main display system and show everyone the truth. And now, we honor our champions, Vex announced. Students who represent the best qualities of their species. As names were called and students went to the stage, Jin saw Jun watching him from nearby. The combat teacher gave a small nod, as if he knew something was about to happen. Suddenly, Jin's tablet lit up with a warning. EMRG and SUI. Human Quarters DEPRES. URIs. ANG. Jin showed Hana and Dai. Their faces went pale. They're trying to destroy our rooms, Hana said. All our backup data is there. And Taro. Jin remembered his roommate. He might be there. Jin stood up. I'll go. You 2 follow the plan. Before Hana could argue, Jin was running. He headed for the human living section, pushing through the crowd. When he reached the human quarters, red lights flashed in the hallway. A computerized voice repeated, Emergency protocol activated. Section K7 will detach in 5 minutes. Jin realized the truth. They weren't just depressurizing the rooms. They were going to eject the entire human section into space. Jin tried the main door, but it was locked. He ran to a maintenance panel that Dai had shown him once. Inside was an emergency override, but it needed a handprint from security. Need help? A voice asked. Jin turned to see Crick. They're going to eject this section, Jin explained quickly. My roommate might be inside. This is wrong, Crick said. He pressed his limb against the panel. Nothing happened. We need security access, Jin said. I know someone, Crick replied. He used his communicator. Jun, we need you at section K7. Emergency. Jun arrived moments later. What is happening? They're ejecting the human quarters, Jin explained. Please, we need your security access. Jun pressed his hand to the panel without hesitation. The door opened. Inside, Jin found Taro huddled in a corner, all 6 arms wrapped around himself in fear. Jin. The air started going out, Taro said. Then the computer said the section would detach. We have 3 minutes, Crick clicked nervously. We need to stop the ejection sequence. Jun led them to the main control panel. This requires administrator access. I cannot override it. 2 minutes until detachment, the computer announced. Jin thought quickly. Dai showed me something once. These systems are connected to maintenance. He opened a panel under the main controls. If we can cut the right cables, it might stop the countdown. Jin reached into the tangle of wires and components. His smaller human hands could fit where the others couldn't. 1 minute until detachment. Jin found what he was looking for, a cluster of green cables. Dai said these control the emergency sequences, he told the others. If I disconnect them, it might stop the ejection. Or speed it up, Jun warned. Jin took a deep breath. It's our only chance. He pulled the cables free. For one terrible moment, nothing happened. Then the lights changed from red to yellow. Emergency protocol suspended. The computer announced. Administrator override required. They had stopped the ejection, but only temporarily. Back in the ceremony hall, Hana and Dai had changed plans. Instead of just showing the files, Dai had connected to the Academy's communication system. He was broadcasting everything live to the entire Galactic Coalition. On the main screen, for all to see, were the secret files. The centuries of watching Earth. The plans to keep humans down. And now, the attempt to eject the human quarters into space. As Jin, Jun, Crick, and Taro returned to the hall, they found Administrator Vex surrounded by angry officials from many worlds. "Is this how the Academy treats its students?" demanded a tall, dignified alien. "By trying to kill them when they discover your secrets." Vex saw Jin enter the room. His 4 eyes narrowed with hate. "This isn't over, human," he said. "No," Jin agreed. "It's just beginning." 3 days after the confrontation, Jin stood in a large meeting room. Officials from the Galactic Coalition sat around a round table. Jin, Hana, and Dai were asked to speak. "Tell us everything again," said the head official, a tall blue being with gentle eyes. Jin explained how they discovered the files. Hana described the many small ways humans had been held back. Dai showed evidence of the sabotage in the tournament. Administrator Vex and his allies feared what humans might become, Jin concluded, but they didn't try to understand what humans already are. The head official nodded. "Vex and his conspirators have been removed from the Academy. Their actions went against our most basic principles." A week later, changes began. The tier system was adjusted to consider each species' unique abilities. Humans were no longer automatically placed in Tier 5. Jin was called to the new administrator's office. The new leader was Lyro, a wise elder from a peaceful world. "Jin, I have a request," Lyro said. "We want you to be Earth's first representative on the student council." Jin was surprised. "Why me?" "Because you showed the best of humanity," Lyro explained. "Not just cleverness or strength, but compassion. You risked yourself to save others, even those who look down on you." Jin accepted the position with pride. Hana was given a special role too. She would work with medical researchers, studying how humans heal differently from other species. Her work would help doctors treat all kinds of beings better. Dai's skills earned him a place in the advanced engineering program. His ideas about adapting technology for different species became an important part of Academy teaching. Crick, once Jin's enemy, became a friend. "Your species surprised me," Crick admitted. "I thought physical strength was most important. Now I see there are many kinds of strength." One afternoon, Jin looked out a window at the stars. Jun stood beside him. "You are thinking deep thoughts," Jun observed. "I was thinking about home," Jin said. "About Earth." "Do you wish to return?" Jun asked. Jin shook his head. "Not yet. There's still so much to learn here. So much humans can contribute." Jun put a hand on Jin's shoulder. "Your kind will go far in the galaxy. Not because you are the strongest or the smartest, but because you are stubborn in the right ways." A month later, a new ship arrived at the Academy. Jin, Hana, and Dai waited at the docking area, excited and nervous. The doors opened. 5 humans walked out, looking around with wide eyes, just as Jin had on his first day. "Welcome to the Interstellar Academy," Jin said, stepping forward. "I'm Jin. This is Hana and Dai. We're from Earth, like you." A young woman stepped forward. "I'm Sue. They told us what you 3 did. Everyone on Earth calls you heroes. Jin smiled. We're not heroes. We just refuse to be less than we are. As Jin showed the new students around the academy, many alien students greeted them warmly. Things had changed. That night, Jin stood again at the window, looking at the endless stars. He thought about his journey, about the hardships and victories, about the future. Humans were still small in the galaxy, still new among the ancient species, still learning and growing. But now they had a real chance to find their place among the stars. Jin thought about the word unbroken. It described humans well. They could be bent by challenges, pushed to their limits, tested beyond what seemed possible, but they would not break. They would adapt. They would endure. They would rise. And the galaxy would never be the same. When Jin turned from the window, he didn't see the distant blue-green planet that was his original home, but he felt its strength inside him. The strength of humanity. Unbroken and unbowed. The journey had just begun.